What's up, guys? It is 9:01 Tuesday, a.m. Tuesday, January 25th, 2022 A.D. Anno Domini. Anno Domini. I think that's how you pronounce it in Latin. Do you like the Latin people? And if you are British, it is Anno Domini. See? So I looked it up. And it's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. And I have a fun show, I think, maybe for you. Loosey-goosey Tuesday show. I thought this was America. This guy got arrested for yelling at a woman and calling her a stupid immigrant or something like that. Cussing at her. But, I mean, he was mad because I told you a little bit about it in the Jesse Lee Peterson show. But his son, 17 years old, had a nut allergy. Any of you guys know anybody with peanut allergy? Their throat swells up, they can't breathe, their tongue swells. I don't know exactly what really goes on. But they go into anaphylactic shock. That's when you can't breathe. That's not a fun feeling. He got hospitalized. So I want to talk to this stupid blanking person who made this drink. And he threw it at one of the girls. Because they're giving all this sassy attitude. All women at this store. I'll tell you about it. And there's some other dumb stuff going on. Did you know that Neil Young is lame? I didn't know that Neil Young was lame. I guess I should have known, because all musicians are liberals. That's a meme that I say. And some other stuff. The so-called Supreme Court's going to hear affirmative action. I thought it was struck down, at least in California. But I guess it's still going. I knew it was de facto affirmative action, but I didn't know that there was de jure. I guess I did know that there was de jure affirmative action. De jure is by the law, right? Or at least policy, written policy. There's also unwritten policy of affirmative action, and that's what we have in California. Or maybe it's explicit and just in defiance, but I thought that it was struck down in Cali. Other stuff going on. Hake is pretty sassy himself, says Misty. I know, but I don't think that I would be cussing at the customer. I know that the customer is not always right. I've dealt with customers. But you'd have some. Anyway. And I will get to your calls, of course, guys. Some of you already on hold. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. You know, first, right off, let me get to these super chats that I did not get to quite yet yesterday. Angela Northcutt, shout out Angela Northcutt, with a shooting star of a dollar coin thing in Odyssey. Shout out, man, woman. When I say man, it also means man and woman, right? Thank you, Angela Northcutt. You too can support via Odyssey to Jesse Lee or to Hake. I assume you can still do it through support Jesse Lee. odyssee.com/@ the Hake Report /live is the extra little slash word thing that you use to access the Hake Report's live stream. And I should be streaming. I think so. And of course, guys, over there on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report, another way to support, Ankle Bibby New Show 42 called in late. Didn't call in. Gave a super chat later in the stream yesterday. I heard from my favorite caller, Maze, in Dayton, Ohio. Had a bunch of messed up callers. Was I a messed up host? Yesterday. No offense to the callers. I do appreciate you. And he's all, oh, Lord, Mays is back on that smack again. What a mess. Yeah, Mays called in talking about you guys are mad at Mitch McConnell for saying what he said. I wasn't mad at Mitch. He said African Americans are voting just as much as Americans. I don't like the term so-called African American. I wish he would just call them blacks or black Americans. Because that's what they are. But they're also anti-American. The ones who call themselves African American, either they're suckers or they are kind of anti-American, especially if they're Democrats. But it's a silly statement to say, oh, there are people of color, voters of color who are worried that without the passage of the John Lewis Voting Act, they won't be able to vote. How ignorant do you have to be and how deceiving do you have to be as a so-called reporter to think that that's what's actually happening? Give me a break. Lin Yan Chin with the super chat states, morals, ethics, ethnics. I think he means ethics. Morals equals ethics. I'm assuming, correcting him. Equals protocol equals intellect. William, dare I say this? Whoa, Lin Yan Chin. Who's on the line, so I will read this so that he can respond. Turn the vent off. We are going to put on the heat, I guess. William isn't... I don't want to say that, Lin Yan Chin. I don't want to start war between my viewers. Fill in the blank. He's saying William is incorrect. Let's just call it. Morals are not morality. They are opinions about morality. The false term morals equals standards. Not reality or God, but the measure of man's vanity in enacting morality. Relax your self. And he uses another word. Lin Yan Chin, very interesting chat. Bear with me for not reading it word for word. I censor some of these things. But amusing wording. Thank you. And William is on the line. I will get to him. But... you know what? Before I do that, I have to show this thing to you guys. Thank you for the super chats, guys. This was funny. To me, it's funny. I read some of this in Hake News. I mentioned it on the Jesse Lee Peterson show in the last hour. He had me on there. I was an expert. I am an expert on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. The end of hour 2 today, Tuesday. This is from Morning Brew, which is a news outlet, purportedly. Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch is kind of loosely affiliated with Bank of America. Bank of America is a big bank. So is Merrill Lynch. They do wealth management type stuff, right? Well, Merrill Lynch financial advisor. And I heard Bank of America debanked Nick Fuentes, by the way. I saw that on his Telegram. I got some alert. Debanked. What's this say? I think I saw it. I just got banned from Bank of America, writes Nick J. Fuentes. Just a side note. These banks are a mess. Okay, so that doesn't give you high hopes for Merrill Lynch, which is affiliated, I believe, with Bank of America. And there's I'm sure some decent people who work at Merrill Lynch and work at Bank of America. For example, this guy might be an okay guy. I don't know. This Merrill Lynch financial advisor, according to Morning Brew, was arrested and fired from his job. Arrested after unleashing a racially tinged rant against an employee at a smoothie store. And I said, yo, based? According to CNBC, Merrill Lynch fired 48-year-old financial advisor and father, he's a father, James Iannazzo, Iannazzo, Iannazzo. Sounds like reminds me of Bagel Queen. Remember Bagel Queen? She listens to my show, I think. She goes viral every so often. She lets me know when she goes viral. You know, those Italians. They speak their minds sometime, especially in New York. New York City is a place to speak your mind, at least it once was. It was considered rude, and I don't know if they were actually rude. I think the other people are just soft. You know what I mean? I appreciate Southern hospitality. They're nice people. And they speak their mind, too, in the South, usually. That's what one of the things I appreciated about the South. And so, but you're not allowed to speak your mind, apparently, in New York anymore because they violate the First Amendment by coming up with these fake ideas called hate crimes, which is if you assault somebody, but you also say a word such as stupid immigrant, that's considered a crime of bias. Still so wrong, huh? That's a violation of the First Amendment. That's one of the ways in which they steal our First Amendment, and the Second Amendment does not protect us, you know? Because you can't just take up your gun and be like, I'm going to use the N-word and you can't stop me, because they're just going to arrest you or shoot you or something. You know what I mean? That's why we need like a spiritual awakening, right? So anyway, he had this cussing rant. This is in Connecticut. Oh, New York, Connecticut, same thing. Am I right? Sorry, guys. I am ignorant about my geography. He was arrested for hurling a drink at a smoothie store worker, a girl, young woman, underage, in a cussing rant captured by a TikTok video. So let me show you this TikTok video, or whatever you want to call it. Clip 11, presumably I have it in there. And I feel so bad for even mentioning his name, because his name is being dragged through the mud, but I use it to honor him, although he may not have acted honorably, I suppose, right? He overreacted. But James Iannazzo, great name. Those Italians. He was widely seen on Twitter. Some sleazy liberal male, a him on Twitter, doxed him in this video yelling at workers in the Robex store. Robex, they make smoothies, fruit, nuts, in Fairfield. And let me just tell you briefly, he was enraged that day after his nut-allergic son, this is the context, this helps with some of the context, went into life-threatening anaphylactic shock after having a drink from the store, which led to the 17-year-old young man's hospitalization. They say, boy. I say don't take that risk, but this store did that to his son, you know? Maybe an honest mistake, right? These ignorant immigrant girls, they don't know better, but they also have a sassy attitude, and that rubs him the wrong way. And so here he is in Fairfield, Connecticut, purportedly, going at it with these ladies. And I use the term very loosely. Lines are full, guys. I will get to you. Watch this and listen.
I have no room to yell at us.
I want to speak to the person who made this drink. Is that you?
No, it wasn't me.
We don't know who made it, so.
You don't know who made it?
There's 4 of us here, so we obviously don't know.
Stupid ignorant high school kids.
Okay, bye.
I want to speak to the
Bye. Okay, you can call corporate whenever you want. Goodbye.
John, stop. You're on camera. You're on camera. You're on camera.
Attitude.
Oh, I don't care.
Give it to me right now.
What? Oh,
He threw it at
I'm
her.
calling the police. I'm calling the police.
See, she's not scared. She's getting in his face. And now she's cussing at him, too.
You shut up. Get out. You can call corporate whenever you want. Bye. Okay, good for you. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Oops.
You shut up. You're not going to tell me
Yeah.
to shut up. Who are you? Who are you?
Immigrant loser.
What?
You.
Get the out. Get the out. Get the out. You're going to jail. You're going to jail, you racist piece of
I want to fucking tell them.
Oh, he's trying to get in the door.
now.
They're blocking the door. Crazy, huh? I'm laughing, but that's not the way to act, man. And that's not the way to act, ladies. How unprofessional those ladies are. They need a man to be working there. What in the world? Or even a young, underage man. Right? He said, effing stupid, effing, and sorry, kids, ignorant high school kids, he ranted. This 48-year-old man. And so they're all, okay, bye. And this is the woman who had the attitude, and he threw the drink at her, right? And then they gasped and said, I'm calling the police. I mean, that's fine. Call the police at that point. But she went and into his face. So she wasn't afraid of him. I want to speak to the blanking person who made this drink. Effing B word. And I don't say B word. Other people do say B word. I grew up in the feminist world where the B word is such this bad thing, so you don't repeat it. But yeah, not so fumed at the female worker in the TikTok story before tossing the drink at her. Tossing it. He got her too. You blanking I can't even repeat it. I'm trying to, though. It's a tongue twister. You effing immigrant loser, the Fairfield resident said. And that triggered more than one of them. You're going to jail, you racist piece of blank, they told him. Racist is a slur, too, by the way, I will have you know. And it's a more dangerous slur than immigrant loser or N-word, right? And he tried to enter the area where the stores, the doors marked employees only. So two of the girls are pushing up against the door. He was arrested Saturday after turning himself in. He turned himself in. He's an upstanding 48-year-old father and charged with, listen to this, intimidation based on bigotry or bias in the second degree. What? Intimidation. That girl was not intimidated by him. She was getting in his face. Granted, they were trying to block him. And there was a counter between them or the door. But second degree breach of peace, I guess, and first degree criminal trespass. He is due to appear in Bridgeport Superior Court February 7th. So I think this is the girl who had that sassy attitude, who was yelling at him and having this nasty attitude. I think she's a minor, but this is her TikTok video, clip 12. Just brief, it shows her acting all sweet and pretty, like she's this innocent girl saying he was arrested. Listen to this.
The update, I don't know if she gave it to you, but he did get arrested and he did get charged with breach of peace and stuff. But according to them, it's not considered assault because I'm not hurt in any way.
Oh, man. I don't know if she knows what she's talking about, but I guess they didn't charge him with assault. Even though, I don't know, I guess you could consider that assault, throwing a drink at her, right? Or trying to intimidate her or whatever, trying to confront her. I don't know. What a mess. What a terrible mess. And the lynch mob is the worst part, in my opinion. That's partly why I'm devilish smile on her ugly face, says Super Dave. Look how happy she is. Yeah. She loves this attention, and she's like a young person, probably not even 18, I don't think. Not a good situation. Just all this ego out of control. The lynch mob out of control, trying to ruin this man. And he's dealing with his son in the hospital, and now he's fired from his job. He doesn't, I don't know, hopefully he has some sort of savings or whatever for his sake, and his sons, they can manage. I mean, they'll get by. But ridiculous, huh? Ridiculous. It reminds me of this YouTube search I did afterwards. Biden, remember Biden saying, I'd like to take Trump behind I took just a screenshot of this little bunch of Biden, Trump, Robert De Niro, all these people wanting to punch somebody. Robert De Niro on Trump, I'd like to punch him in the face. He called Trump a punk. He's such a poser, Robert De Niro. And Trump on a so-called protester, somebody invading his Trump rally, the Black Lives Matter idiots disrupting the rally. Wouldn't you like to punch him in the face? Trump had said that. Trump responded to Biden's wish to fight him. I'd love that. These are all 5-6 years ago. Biden, I wish I could take Trump behind the gym and just, that meaning punch him. I would beat the H out of Trump if I were in high school, said Biden, all kissing up to the women. All lame, pretending like he cares about the immigrants, non-white, the people of non-white stock, something like that. Ridiculous. Anyway, let me get to Emmanuel in lines are full, guys. I will get to you guys. Emmanuel in Canada wants to talk about what's going on in Canada. So a nice little break from this mess. How you doing, Emmanuel?
Hey, Hake. I was calling to. How you doing, man?
Doing well. Good to hear from you.
Good. Yeah, you too. I called like a while back to your show. It's been a while. I was on the line for Jesse, but I didn't get through. I got disconnected.
Oh, right on. Appreciate you trying to get to Jesse.
Yeah, man. But I like your show too.
Nice.
I actually told Nathan, who was like the first caller to call in, so he took my spot. But anyways, so Canada. I went to the protest in Ottawa.
So what protests? What's going on over there? I heard that there were truckers and some people supporting these truckers. What's going on?
The convoy. So basically, I just went to the protest, and they're just protesting the mandates and just like the mask stuff.
Are they like shutting down the streets, like filling up the streets so that
No, they're not going that hard. They were marching down the streets for a bit.
Truckers?
And I guess, well, no, the truckers are like pulling up now, apparently. So like I saw footage of them in front of the
what are they protesting?
And they're protesting the vaccination mandates, right? They don't want to get vaxxed, like a lot of these truckers.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're gonna stop transporting goods if you're gonna make us get vaxxed. You know what I mean? Like, and then what?
Okay.
So, anyways, I saw footage of a bunch of trucks, transports in front of the Parliament in Ottawa, and they're just letting their air horns off, and it was a beautiful sight to behold. They're just like going like nonstop pulling their air horns.
Wow.
So that's gonna piss people off, but yeah.
Do you think it's gonna result in anything?
I don't know, man. I really, really hope it does, but it seems like this is a recurring theme in history, right? People hit the streets, they protest what they don't want.
Right.
They let them protest, and then they shut them down, right?
Yeah. Especially when they're on the side of what's right, they get shut down.
Exactly.
Ottawa, for those who don't know, like me, is the capital of Canada. It's kind of like D.C. for America.
Yeah.
It's Ottawa for Canada. And that's it's in Ontario, not to be confused with Ontario, California. Ontario is the province.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's outside of LA, Ontario Airport and stuff. Yeah. Interesting, man.
That's cool.
I wish them well. I appreciate people who voice their disagreement with the government and other idiots who are for these shutdowns. I don't believe that they're necessary in the first place, or these mandates. I don't believe that they're necessary. It only makes many people more suspicious of what they're trying to mandate anyway. They would probably get better compliance if they were more reasonable about it, you know? But since they're being unreasonable about it, they're actually shooting themselves in the foot. But I think they do that on purpose because they just are so angry and evil. They like people being divided and acting out and angry and hating one another because they thrive on chaos.
Do you think that, like, Biden and, like, let's say Justin Trudeau, because I'm trying to figure it out, it's like, do you think that the evil spirit is working through them through, like, because people say they're puppets on a string, right? Like, people are, like, pulling their strings. So, like, are they actually the evil ones, or are they just following orders? Like, I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh, I mean, people tend to be followers on that side. They don't tend to be self-led. So they're following the crowd. They're following orders from, people whom we don't know, I'm sure. I think it's a lot of both. I bet you it's a lot of both.
Yeah. It's the spirit of evil, like, at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll be surprised how evil people all think alike in many ways.
Yeah.
Even when they pretend,
people.
Oh, I'm a communist. Oh, I'm a capitalist. You're both the same. You're both like evil, and you think
they're
the same.
Possessed.
Yeah.
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 I have another quick question if you
all
have
right.
time. How do you feel about, so like I went to the city, and like maybe you don't want to hear this mess, but anyways, I got caught up in some stuff I shouldn't have. But like, so I'm trying to overcome like sexual sin, all right? Because I know it's not good. I'm looking for a wife, ideally. I want to do things right. But like I slipped into some sexual sin, and like, I repented, and I'm trying to get over that. But like, as a young man, like that's a struggle. Like I don't know. Do you have a wife, or like how do you feel about all that stuff?
About people who get married and stuff?
Well, as a young man who's like, he's trying, like, because in this day and age, it's promoted to young men to sleep around, and same to the women, right? Like,
yeah. You should avoid it because it's dangerous times, especially for men, because women turn around and accuse men even years, decades later, even when it's like nothing other than that, sex out of wedlock is wrong. Nothing wrong was done by the man other than that, So,
right.
But they turn around and accuse. So it's unwise. It's dangerous. And
you don't have to answer this, but do you like, I'm sure you struggled with it. Like, do you struggle with that? Like, because like I see a beautiful woman and I get like sometimes weak in the knees and I feel like such a beta. You know what I mean? Like,
just calm down about it. I mean, you don't. That's not the sin, and this whole repenting from the sin stuff. You're going to end up repenting over and over, and that's not real repentance.
Right.
Yeah. So just.
So what do you do? Like, what do
yourself.
you suggest to a guy that slips into it?
Be wise. Watch yourself. You should ask. Right. You should contact JLP for private counseling.
Yeah, I thought about that before.
You do JLP's silent prayer?
I do, and this is the interesting thing, dude, is that I missed the silent prayer for a few days. Next thing you know, I'm slipping into sin.
But you don't even know what sin is.
Okay, well, that's a trip because you're right. I don't, because like I thought that
it's wrong. I think it's
sin.
I think it's wrong. I think it's very ill-advised, and it's very common. It's a mess. But yeah, just. Are you a Christian?
Yes, I struggled with that for a long time, but now I call myself a Christian.
Were you something else before, or what?
I was just a mess, really.
Were you raised like Christian?
Yeah, well, my mom was a Catholic, so, and she still is. But my dad is like a hippie, like spiritual, like new age. I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? It's like
okay.
I'm not a religious. I'm a spiritual. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, stay away. Do the Mike Pence thing is a nice thing. You ever heard of Mike Pence? What he does?
I have.
He doesn't even be alone with a woman.
Right.
Because you want to avoid the temptation in the first place. Because human beings are weak, especially once you cross that line. You're not going to be able to stop yourself from crossing that line.
Yeah. So like, and also like, okay, I was talking to.
I mean, maybe you can, but eventually, but.
I was talking to my friend. I was like, I need a wife because like I can't seem to control my urges.
But that's the other thing. You need a wife, and you're looking for a wife. Haven't you heard JLP say, "Don't look for a wife"? And
I know.
Put God first. So you're putting your own own idea of righteousness first, and your own. Oh, I want a wife, so that way I don't have to deal with all this temptation stuff. She's gonna end up being. You're going to be desperate and get with the wrong woman, and you're going to be a simp.
I don't want to be no simp.
Too late. But
man.
Yeah.
But anyways,
interesting, man.
I think it's important for men to be like talk about this stuff with each other because like.
You think so?
Well, I don't know. Is it because like I feel like it's something we struggle with. Like
Struggling is the wrong thing. I don't even know if you're actually struggling. People claim, "Oh, I'm struggling with this."
I'm not.
No, you're not. You're giving into it, and then you're beating yourself up about it or whatever.
Okay,
or feeling
you
guilty.
got me.
So you're not really struggling. Like, what does that even mean to struggle? I think people just say words.
What it is, it's the regret. You know what I mean? Afterwards, because you know it's wrong.
I know, huh? You feel all these kinds of regret when you do wrong. It's funny.
Yeah.
You think that's from God?
No, it's not. I know it's not. That's the trip. Is like I know it's Satan playing tricks on my mind.
And
right?
so, but you're basing your desire to like get a wife and so-called repent of this off of that guilty feeling, I think.
Right.
But
thanks for calling me out.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it.
But yeah, you can do either Skype or phone or come and visit, I suppose, for private counseling if you need it. Maybe you don't. Did you say that
Yeah,
you do?
I might need to
you
do
do
that,
JLP's silent prayer?
I do, man, and I'm telling you, it works. And like I just said, like I stopped for a few days when I went to the city, and then next thing you know, I'm slipping. So like,
I'm slipping.
Anyways,
I'm falling. I can't get up.
I just
said the guy that he's dead now. You know
I
that
just want
song?
to say shout outs to Nathan Zen, who put he called into the Jesse show earlier,
Nice.
and then also to my brother Brock out west. Who's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, it's good to hear from you,
All right,
Emmanuel.
Yeah. Thanks, Hake.
All right. Take care.
All right. God bless.
All right. How embarrassing. Mike Pence? Let's see what happens with that guy. I know, huh? Yeah, fair enough. Okay, by the way, counseling. Rebuildingtheman.com/counseling or jesseleepeterson.com/counseling, perhaps. Let me just see. Dead air. Isn't that nice? Isn't that quiet? Noops. Whoops, that doesn't work. jesseleepeterson.com/about/counseling. Thanks for complicating the URL there. Okay, so, and you can call the bond office, 800-411-BOND, 1-800-411-2663, or the local number, 323-782-1980, 323-782-1980. And you can leave a message, or you can talk with the front desk, schedule it, see about it's quite affordable. All you need is one session, to quote Stingray. Yeah, exactly. Two at most. Taking care of business bear. I don't even know if I want to repeat that, but it's funny. Okay, so let me get to William in California, as promised. William, thanks for holding, man. How are you doing?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Nice.
I think I was attacked, but that's okay. It's I feel like this here.
Yeah.
Get in line. Get in line. Because
get in line for the people who want to attack you? Yeah.
Anybody that, I don't care if you attack or you don't like me, hey, man, get in line. I'm used to that. Because, look, like you said yesterday, you listen to that kind of music and you're black, that's stereotyping. But I didn't put the fire under your foot for that, you know.
Yeah,
I knew
who
you
cares?
didn't mean anything by it. Yeah, who cares? And do you know by being black, you do get judged a lot in your community for that, for being different.
Right.
Well, I'm like this. I want to be different. I don't want to be like you.
Nice.
This guy, that guy, and everything. And for the youngster that just called, the temptation is not all that strong. I mean, women kind of cling to guys that take care of their business and take care of their bodies. And they're not all that. I mean, don't put that much power in them. Make yourself all that. And
Yeah.
you just walk away from it.
The Bible says, resist the devil and he will flee from you. And flee from temptation. And it says stuff like, he won't put you through something that you can't handle. Interesting, huh?
Right.
And so don't trip.
I mean, I just concentrated. I'm retired now, but I mean, I
Nice.
just pretty much concentrated on my work and paying my bills and all that stuff. Being a man was more important to me than hitting every woman I see or that's offered to me, because if it's offered to you that easy, it's really usually not worth that much.
One thing that Roosh said, I remember Roosh. Remember Roosh V? He appeared on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. He used to be in the dating scam type of thing. Scam.
Yeah.
Dating.
Well,
I forget what it's
different
called.
day, different time. Like you told this young man, you got to be careful with that now. I mean, when I was in the dating game, it was a little bit more friendlier. But now they'll hold your
They're
feet to the
evil.
fire for something you did 30 years ago.
One thing Roosh said was, if you don't look at you don't look so much, then it doesn't feed that need so much.
Yeah.
And also that the JLP says that anger awakens that nature, that sexual mess.
Sure.
That's why so many of the blacks are so out of control in that way.
Right. But I appreciate our conversation yesterday. I thought you had a pretty interesting show yesterday.
Thanks, man.
You took criticism like a man.
Cool.
And it wasn't really criticism. It was just like a couple of people's opinion, like me and you agreed. It was like the caller before me and everything. Maybe if that was just our perception and you were like, hey, that's fair.
Yeah. It may well be. Destiny's.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
more familiar with
yeah.
Destiny than anybody else I've ever debated. So,
Right.
yeah, who knows?
Right. We were talking about Ronald Reagan yesterday. Speculating gets you in trouble. Actually, he took 44 states
Wow.
in 1980,
Yeah.
and he took 49 for his reelection. That's why they call him the GOAT.
Wow. 49. That's a landslide.
49, buddy. You okay? It's pretty good. Now, that goes back to the voting rights. To your favorite caller, I think that the Voting Act was in effect in 1980 and 84.
Uh-huh.
And
Right.
he took 44, and then he took 49.
Wow.
And newsflash, it is absolutely amazing that you guys had Mr. Lockwood on there today. That was good.
Yeah.
Because when I lived in Texas, in the north part of Texas, that's Flower Mound. Where I was talking about Flower Mound, Texas. Great place. He's up that way. That guy's very well respected in that area. Actually, all over the country. Brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's really funny how white people know more about black history than black people. Because if you think about it, they paid a poll tax before the 65 voting right.
I remember that, the poll tax.
They paid a, you don't remember that, James. You weren't born, but
I
you
remember
know
reading about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they paid a poll tax. Now, let me take you back to some more history. In fact, you paid a poll tax, which means, well, let's take it back. 93% of the black households were two-parent homes back then when they had poll tax, which means you're lying, Maze, okay? Men in the head of the household were the only ones that voted in the household.
Nice.
Second thing, yeah, I know that's nice. Second thing, I turned two people onto your show. I'm endorsing you.
Nice,
you
man.
Thank me.
Thank you.
I went by and see my mother. Her birthday was the other day, and lo and behold, she's sitting in there with her first cousin. Now, you don't know my mother, but she made 80 years old. Her cousin is 83. They're both from Louisiana. My mother is from Lake Charles, Louisiana. I noticed that you have a caller that calls in all the time talking about what's going on and how the white man hung everybody from a tree. And they looked at your show, and they heard this young man down in Louisiana. I'm not going to mention his name. He said something about hanging us and all this and what you white man did. I said, okay, I got two people here that were there.
They survived it.
Okay, so who are you going to look in the camera?
Right.
Who are you going to believe? The two 80-year-olds or the under 40-year-old that calls in here being a victim?
Right.
You know what they told me about this thing about lynching and Jim Crow? They said they were living better than the young black people today.
Yeah.
Under Jim Crow. Not saying Jim Crow was good, but they said, and then I asked them, was there a black man hanging from a tree everywhere you went, Mom? You know what she told me? Whoever this was that just got off the phone from Louisiana is a GD lie.
Right.
I'm like, no, you didn't. She said, no, that person's lying.
Right.
At anybody that age, in fact, at 61 years old, son, if you said you seen somebody getting hung by the KKK, you are a liar too.
I remember when I first looked into this black crime situation and the lynchings and all that stuff, I saw this comparison from the Tuskegee Institute that documented like 4,000 or 3,000 lynchings of black men and like maybe 1,000 lynchings of white men from like over across 80 or 90 years, right? A few thousand, right? Maybe several thousand, some were not documented. And then you document how many blacks are killed by other blacks.
Black crime that you have today.
Yeah, across 10 years, they dwarf that number. It's ridiculous.
You got one city, Chicago, that probably in 1 year exceeds that number in that time frame.
Yeah.
And if you're so good, here's the deal. Nobody's saying all black people are bad because it's actually the black people who are good. It's the African Americans that are. It's them.
Yeah.
Okay. And they just usually when people hate, It's because they're actually losers. Because I was asking these two older people about this situation, and they in the Deep South raised there, they said actually the white people down there were not so much racist like you guys are trying to advertise. They were more so separatist than racist.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a separatist. I don't want to live around people that don't put their garbage can after the garbage truck come.
Exactly.
I don't live around that. So I separate myself. I pay extra money to live where I live to not see that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me racist.
I appreciate it, William. It's great to hear from you, man.
Does that make me racist, James? Because I don't want to be around that.
There's no such thing as racism. It's a valid thing. The blacks get out of their own communities when they get the money.
Oh, one more thing.
Or they go back to the South.
Your favorite caller tried to call in and be smart about Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell wouldn't even look at you because and then try to brag that he went to Tuskegee. Here's the deal. She's probably talking about the Tuskegee down in Alabama.
Right.
The flight school. He went to the Tuskegee in Washington, D.C. And the Howard that she's talking about, he only went there 5 minutes before white people pulled him out of there and said, "You're too smart for Howard." Thomas Sowell is brilliant. How dare you? But it's all good. You got the freedom to even be stupid.
Thank you, William. Got to go,
William
man.
is out.
Take care.
All right.
Quickly, let me get to Rich in Victorville, California. He's been on hold forever. How you doing, Rich? Appreciate you.
Thank you for answering. So my question for you, Hake, is why are you encouraging violence?
Why am I encouraging violence? I'm not encouraging violence. Why do you falsely accuse me of encouraging violence?
You caught the dude based. The dude threw a smoothie at that girl. He didn't have to throw a smoothie.
I didn't call that
anger.
I didn't say that part of him was based. I said and I was joking anyway, but the racially tinged rant against the employee.
Don't side with a dude who threw a smoothie at a girl because he could get beat up for that. And he
I'm not
siding in the back door.
Oh gosh, this girl is not a poor innocent victim girl. She's a sassy thug, and I suppose you could call him a thuggish behavior too for acting in that way.
Okay, so if it was a white guy with a Confederate flag on, would it get you mad if he threw a smoothie at her?
No, of course not. I'm not mad either way.
And he tried to come in the back door. That's illegal. He tried to break.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Exactly. So you can't side with him, Hake.
I'm not siding with him. I'm joking around base because he's had a racially tinged rant and they're trying to lynch him over it. What do you think about them trying to make that into a crime? That part of it.
I celebrated today. I'm about to take a shot. I heard he got fired. That's good because who did you think he is?
Well, shame on you.
If I was there,
shame on you.
It wouldn't have anything good for him. I'm not even a tough guy, but you can't be assaulting. You can't be assaulting people like that.
It probably wouldn't have come to that because, well, I don't know what type of man you are. You don't seem like that type of a man. You don't seem like a manly type of a man who keeps things calm. But those girls were not right either. They were, especially that one who got hit. She was giving him attitude even before that, and he threw it at her. He was wrong for that, but she was wrong too. Was she not wrong?
I wasn't there. Were you there?
Oh, all of a sudden you weren't there. You can't judge her, but you can judge him.
Doesn't matter. He can't be.
No. I asked you, was she wrong?
What did she do wrong? Can you tell me?
She gave him attitude. She gave him attitude needlessly.
Because she gave him attitude, you could throw something at her.
I didn't say that. I said, was she wrong? You can't even admit that a woman giving attitude needlessly, especially a store employee to a customer, you can't say
that's not wrong.
You're so weak as a male that you can't even admit that she was wrong too. And you're celebrating the destruction of the First Amendment. Because you hate white people.
We have the right to refuse
customers. You hate white people.
No,
yes, you do.
Hate white people.
No, I don't. You're celebrating that this guy was. Hold on. You're celebrating that this guy was fired for no reason.
He threw a smoothie at someone. I told you have anger and ego.
No, you're celebrating that he. No, you're celebrating that he was fired.
Do you have anger, Hake? That's not right.
You're lame. You don't even believe in the anger thing. You don't even believe in Jesse's message about anger, or the Bible's message.
Either.
Are you even a Christian?
Why are you trying to change the
subject? Are you a
Hake?
Christian? Because you're bringing up, you said you have anger, Hake. You changed the subject.
No.
So now the subject is you thinking that anger is bad. When you don't think anger is bad, you're fake.
Makes no sense, Hake. Why are you trying to deceive the... Why are you trying
No,
to
you're the
deceive
one
people?
trying to deceive. You're fake. Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not a Christian.
So then why are you talking about anger?
Because you don't need to be a Christian to know that you can't throw stuff at people like that.
I didn't say you shouldn't throw. I didn't say you should throw stuff at people. You're the deceiver. You're fake. You said you have anger, Hake. You said you have anger, Hake. What do you think is wrong about anger?
I have anger too because.
So then, what
like
are you accusing me of having anger for? You have anger too. You're blind.
You're the one who you're the cult followers who talk about.
No, you're the cult follower. You think that you're the original people here.
I am the original people.
See?
Why are you
cult?
I am the original person. That's why you want to build a
cult.
wall.
Cult.
Right? Hake, why do airplanes spray the sky?
Oh Lord! Now he's saying, why do airplanes spray the sky?
And
you accuse me of changing the subject.
No, I'm just asking.
No, you changed the subject.
Because this is not your guys' land. That's
all right.
Why.
Very cute. Nice call, man.
That's it. All right, man. Peace.
All
Stop
right.
being angry, Hake. You're angry.
You're cute. What a mess. But thank you. One line open, guys. Before I get back to calls, I got to tell you this story. It's a mess. I thought Neil Young, what type of music does he sing? Does it sing like, is it rock music or is it more like country music or both? Okay. Not to be confused with the great. Is he a Christian? Neil Diamond. No, I don't think that Neil Diamond is a Christian. Neil Young apparently isn't either. I saw this on Rolling Stone, which is a far left, anti-American, anti-male, anti-man outlet. They can have Joe Rogan. They can have Rogan or Young, not both. Neil Young, the washed-up singer. I may have one of his albums. I don't listen to it that much. I only listen to Christian music. Neil Young wrote in a letter to his manager and label, and he demanded that Spotify remove his music over false information about vaccines. This old looks like he's white, but I don't think he's a normal, sensible white Christian man at all. Neil Young asks Spotify to remove his music over vaccine disinformation. Give me a break. Talk about a bandwagoner. Apparently he deleted, he posted this, what, did he post it as an open letter or what? And then he deleted it? I don't know. Neil Young posted a since-deleted letter to his management team and record label demanding that they remove his music from Spotify. I am doing this because Spotify is spreading fake information about vaccines, which nobody really knows. Doesn't even seem like. Even the experts who are studying this very closely, what's really going on. Do they? Apparently he put it on his website, neilyoungarchives.com. But he deleted it. Maybe he's getting some backlash because this is a controversial topic. A lot of people don't believe in that stuff. A lot of people don't buy into, because these people are phonies. Eric Clapton and Neil Young in the news today. Not Eric Clapton. No, I don't really listen to him either. Young is Canadian. What? Canadians. Except for Emmanuel, he's nice. But don't look for a wife. I want to let Spotify know that immediately today that I want all my music off their platform. They can have Rogan or Young, not both, as in Joe Rogan, as in the guy who's a far left liberal, anti-Trump, anti-white, anti-Christian, atheist, Obama-loving, Clinton-loving podcast host who talks with some interesting conversations, right? He still has some interesting conversations. But he's not getting in line quite enough. And he's supposed to be a hippie. Was Neil Young a hippie? 270 doctors, physicians, and science educators signed an open letter asking Spotify to stop spreading Rogan's baseless claims. Dumb. Did Rogan make any baseless claims? Can they even say that? I don't know. With an estimated 11 million listeners per episode, JRE, Joe Rogan Experience, hosted exclusively on Spotify as the world's largest podcast, tremendous influence. Spotify has a responsibility to mitigate the spread of misinformation on its platform. And it turned out like only 84, and those were mostly females. I read that to you. I read it to you. Mostly females signing that letter trying to censor Joe Rogan. Typical woman thinking, am I right? Not the decent type of woman. Jeff Schnorley says, I'm looking at the YouTube chat. Hake has an Avril Lavigne poster above his bed. Not true. You don't know me. That was an old mainstream but talented songwriter type of young woman. I think she was talented. I assume. Yeah, Neil Young, not Christian. But these people, they're all for that control freak type stuff. And that only makes, like I said before, it only makes people more suspicious. Which I'm fine with, to be honest. Alienate the people. Yeah, do that. Alienate them through that censorship stuff. I guess. But you're only going to spread that anger that guy my previous caller talked about. He's right without knowing that anger stuff is evil and destructive. And because he's angry, he's for the firing of a father who acted out. He was out of line. And those girls were out of line too. What a mess. I'm going to talk about the so-called Supreme Court and all that mess. But let me quickly take Stephen out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Stephen, it's nice to hear from you, man. How are you doing?
Hey, doing good. Nice to hear from you as well.
You're doing good in the world?
Yeah, doing good in the world.
Okay, really?
Gosh, I don't know where to start, to be honest. Damn, excuse my language. I want to give a shout out to, I can't think of his name. The black guy that called in.
William?
William, yes, William.
Nice.
I love what he had to say, because I was thinking about this, what he had to say about black people being afraid to be original.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I'm friends with a lot of black guys that are punk rock kids, or kids or men. I guess they're men at this point.
Yeah.
But what I mean is just it's so funny because there is a problem within the black community that they're afraid they have to be rappers. They have to be they have to live up to a certain kind of standard. It's no. And the ones that are original are the awesome ones. And I love those guys. And they're my best friends.
Yeah.
So
all
and
right.
also that other kid that called in, the one that was worried about his women issues.
Right.
I think he's
not a kid.
I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be all right. I think the fact that he's wondering about it and calling in, I think he's going to be all right. So
I don't know.
I just want to give a shout out to both of those guys.
Yeah. I wish them well.
I think that's cool.
Nice.
But also, my main reason why I called is Nick's doing a great job with his show, and I think Nick's awesome, and I look forward to many times I'm going to be able to listen to his show. And also, you're on fire, as we all say, you're on fire. You're doing a great job with your show, dude.
Yeah,
100%.
Nick says thanks as well. I really enjoy Nick's show. It's chill.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's
I love the guitar
informative.
playing and stuff. I play guitar. I suck at it, but I do my best.
Yeah, I like how he handles.
I
like how he handles the vulgar sexual stuff that's going on. I'm too embarrassed to cover that stuff, but he covers it so well.
It's funny because
people
when you
are
were
just
showing
in
that clip with all the beep beep, I was going to joke around and be like, hey, how's it going? Beep, and I was like, I just wanted to tell you beep, and I was just wanted to be like beep beep, but I wasn't going to do that. But
Anchor
anyway.
Baby's new show. It's live on YouTube Fridays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Right on. That's what's up.
For like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that's what's up. I don't really have much to say. I just wanted to give
thank
props to you and Nick, and I think you guys are awesome. And hell, I don't even now I'm caught off guard because
you don't have to have anything extra to say. That's fine.
Called in, I gave you hell. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You've been doing JLP's silent prayer.
Yes, I have, and it's helped me a great deal.
Nice, man.
Yeah, and I wasn't for so long. I've been a long-time listener, like 5 or 6 years, and I've been a hypocrite because I was like preaching it without even really doing it.
Yeah,
I've been a major hypocrite, but I finally succumbed to it, and I'm happy that I have. So
yeah,
that's what's up.
Cool, man.
So yeah. And the other dude that called in that was giving you hell, like calling you like. I don't even know now at this point. Like, because I was on hold and I didn't want the show to play in the background.
Oh, Rich, Rich.
Yeah.
From
he's
Victorville.
He has his issues, man. Maybe he'll overcome those issues. Like, what a mess, you know.
He seems like a nice guy, but he. I feel like
yeah. I mean,
Rich, man. I think you're off in a little.
But I mean,
a little bit.
My God, I mean. You know, I mean, what a mess! Like to call into like that's ego. That's ego at its best, right there.
But I mean, I like people who disagree calling into the show.
Right on.
Yeah. And that's really how he thinks. I assume. Like it's not like he's lying about how he feels. So.
Right. No. So respect for that, but yeah, and also this, and I hope I don't catch hell for this, but I'm not going to address the elephant in the room. But I just want to say that I stand by Jesse and all the haters out there can off. You know, I'm not going to say the word.
Wish them well.
Yeah, wish them well. Yeah, exactly. Because I just want to say, like, I stand by. All I know is stand by Jesse, and I don't care about the outcome because what he's taught is important.
Yeah, it's real
to me. So it doesn't matter about what the outcome is because it doesn't make a difference. So, and I'm sorry if bringing that up is not a good idea, and I apologize. I just want to say that.
Well, thank you for your support, man.
Yeah. I just want to say, that, right on.
And you're Gen X, right?
Yeah, I'm Gen X.
I think William might be Gen X as well. So you guys are two birds of a feather.
William has what he said about, like, you know, bringing it up about the whole, like, black community, about how, like, they're afraid to be original about themselves.
Yeah,
that's a shame, man. But the beauty of it is, I do know a lot of black guys that are just like they're skateboard kids and they don't care. They're listening to like all kinds of music. They don't have to be rappers and like, you know, they don't care. And that's the beauty of it, you know.
All right.
So,
well, thank you, Steven. It's great to hear from you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, I always call in kind of timid, like, so.
Don't sweat it. So. You're fine. All right, man.
Anyway, love you, man, and keep doing what you're doing. Nick's going to keep doing what he's doing, and
Indeed.
Jesse, of course, he will too.
Yeah.
All right, take care. I love you, man.
Thank you, Steven. Love you too. Raleigh, North Carolina. Isn't that nice? Well, guys, we're just about at the top of the hour. I want to show you another song from Human Television. I've been playing them for the last few weeks, and I have a couple more weeks maybe to play of them. I happen to like them. I know a lot of you don't. Some of you do. Human Television. This is from 2006 album, Look at Who You're Talking To. And I don't know if they would like me, but that's fine. I like their music. This is from the second track on their album, 10 minutes. Hope you enjoy it. Don't worry, it's not 10 minutes long, okay? Calm down. But you can press mute if you like. You can cover your ears, or you can grin and bear it, you musical Philistines. And I'll be back for hour 2. Well, wasn't that nice? No, Hake, don't do it. Mute the music. Mute. Play some Bibby 42 instrumentals. He does instrumentals? Loosey-goosey music. Perfectly good water to throw a fishing pole into. I agree. That's beautiful. The beautiful ocean we were showing, because I wasn't showing you the album art, because there's not really lyrics. One guy said, I miss Hake's index finger pointing at the lyrics. But this, I'll show the art maybe tomorrow, the album art. But it just talks about the music. It doesn't, or about the individual songs on these people's art. If you want to get a black girl, you ought to keep up with the hip-hop music, because that's what they like. Black boys are just peacocking for the chance to... Oh, gosh. Thank you, Mr. Sandman. I'll give it a try before I mute, says Isaiah Johnson. Serenade me, Hake, says John Kramer. Oh, Lord, here we go with Hank music, says Kingdom Within. Skip. Sounds like fire and brimstone. I'm just here for the music. Well, thank you, Matt the American. Why does Hake always play the B side of the 45? Play a good song. Well, thank you, Ragtag Army, for the constructive criticism. Music makes me feel like an anti-white hipster commie at Starbucks. Says, what the? I know, guys. I know. Good music, Willie Palomino says. You know what? Louis Bootsy says, I miss acid sometimes. That's a joke, kids. Don't fall for it. Don't do drugs. Ragnar 0321 over there on Odyssey says, Hake, so Neil Young never really wanted us to keep on rocking in the free world? Question mark? Yeah. I thought he wanted us to keep on rocking in the free world. I guess not. I didn't know that was him. In fact, I'm not very cultured, so I was not familiar with that song. Maybe I have heard it, just don't recognize it by the title, but it sounds like a familiar phrase. But he's not for that. He's for the commie shutdowns and control freakish, female-minded stuff. That's hippies for you. The hippies have taken over, and they're more oppressive than the people from the 50s who gave them birth. What a mess, huh? What a mess. Some super chats. Jer Anamo states, Hake, have you ever... Oh, I don't know if this is Hake, but have you ever felt guilty in your fallen state? If yes, what did you do to feel better before you knew how to truly overcome it? All sorts of things. Trying to, quote-unquote, repent. Trying to, like, pray. Trying to write stuff down. Trying to tell people about it. What a mess. Mess. Hit me, Bibby, one more time, 42 with a super chat. States, Hake, can you please play that clip of the customer throwing his drink at the stupid high school girl again? I haven't laughed that hard all year. And happy birthday, James. Well, thank you. Yes, it was my birthday just back in July 17th, 2021. Just a little over 6 months ago. It was my birthday, just recently. Thank you, Bibby. Press 1 if you want to see that clip again of the... at the Robex where the guy chucks the, he cusses at her, F this, F that, effing, what did he say? Effing ignorant high school kids, stupid, sorry kids, blanking immigrant loser. And they're like, what? You're going to jail, you racist piece of bloop. Because he threw something at her. He threw a drink at her, which I disavow that. Rich is right. It's wrong to throw a drink at the girl. But the girl is also wrong for having that nasty attitude. But she can't help it. She wasn't raised right. She's an immigrant loser. You guys, I'm seeing a lot of ones. Oh, okay, maybe I will get to that. I have some calls to get to first, though. And quickly, some news for you first. The so-called Supreme Court. Did you hear about this? Affirmative action heads to the Supreme Court. In addition to hearing cases on abortion, gun regulations, it's going to be months, maybe even over a year, before we hear the result. Gun regulations and vaccine mandates, the court added affirmative action to its docket yesterday. SCOTUS, it's the Supreme Court of the United States. I hate those. You're not supposed to hate, but I hate those, whatever you call them, when they do POTUS and SCOTUS and FLOTUS. As if they're really for the United States or of the United States. These people are anti-American. will hear two cases, Supreme Court will hear two cases that could shake up admissions processes at public and private colleges and universities across the United States. Students for Fair Admissions, group led by anti-affirmative action crusader Edward Blum. Or Bloom? Edward, it's spelled Blum. I had a PE teacher, Mr. Blum. Shout out to that man. I wonder if maybe he's passed on, maybe he's still living. Mr. Blum, that was cool. But Edward Blum, no stranger to this so-called high court, sued Harvard University and the University of North Carolina, UNC, for discriminating against Asian American applicants. Not whites, those poor victim Asians, which they are discriminated against too, because they're overperformers, right? In the Harvard case, the group argues that the school gave massive preferences to black, and they capitalized B. So dumb. I'm going to fix that. I put a bracket, open bracket, lowercase b, close bracket, to correct anytime I see that, because it's ridiculous. And Hispanic students, massive preferences to black and Hispanics, who many of them don't even belong in college, or if they go to college, they get worse. They end up supporting all kinds of evil, because the colleges are mess, destructive, subverted, and they're subverting the minds of the people. Harvard denied the claims, and lower courts have sided with Harvard in previous cases, but it went to the Supreme Court. Harvard's current freshman class makeup is 52% white, underrepresented, 24% Asian, well overrepresented, but still underrepresented compared to probably the academic aptitude, if you will, right? 11% black and 10% Hispanic. Hispanics sort of underrepresented, I would guess. I mean, I don't know what the demographics are up there, but I think Hispanics are supposedly 17, 18% of the population generally. And probably overrepresented, actually, among the younger people. Because I think whites under, 18? Maybe white kids are a total minority, right? Yeah. I don't know what age it is exactly, but it's something like that. I feel like it was 14, 15, 16 a few years ago. Drama. Not good. Schools said they got rid of their current race-conscious admissions. African American and Hispanic representation would decline by nearly half. That just makes them look bad. Who cares? And college isn't that valuable anyway. It's a disservice. These people get saddled with the debt, or else we're paying for it, right? Because of the dumb grants and all that stuff. Subsidies only inflate the costs up artificially. Historically, conservative justices have voted against race-conscious admission programs, but we're usually outnumbered. Now they have a sizable majority. They're not conservatives, but 6-3, supposedly. Arguments likely to begin in the fall. Asians don't like other races, says Bill West. Yeah, true. They don't even like different types of Asians in many cases. Like, careful, she's Filipino. Or those Indonesians, or those Malaysians, or those Vietnamese. Back. Anyway, sorry. But what a mess, huh? Interesting. Interesting times. Lord Grimm in Washington, D.C. is on the line. How are you doing, Lord Grimm? Nice to hear from you.
Hey, what's going on? Hake, the Hake report, la, la, la.
Not much, just hanging out.
Good, man. Can you hear me? Can you hear me good? Because
I can hear you okay. It's it goes underwater a little bit, but it's all right, I think.
Okay, what about now?
That's fine, I think.
All right. So listen, I wanted to talk more about I wanted to touch on what William was saying. My big brother William was saying. William, we got to, he made a good point about something. He talks about it a lot, but I don't think people really understand the importance of this particular thing that he talks about when it comes to people that's not born during the time of a lot of the stuff that they talk about.
Yeah.
Like
slavery,
like Jeremiah,
Jim Crow,
yeah.
lynchings.
Yeah. And so it's okay to learn about these things because, it's in the past, it's in the history. It's okay to understand, what made America, what it is. But when you start taking it so personal and you try to bring it back into the future, or not the future, but into the present moment, and have arguments with people about it as if you were there, then it becomes a little bit ignorant. You know what I mean? People. First of all, you got to understand that you can only really talk about or speculate about things going on within your time. You can't really try to have an argument or debate with, especially somebody like William that was actually raised or born during those days. You can't really try to go back and forth with that guy, because he has firsthand account. You know, Jesse, he has firsthand account. So, you know, people like Jeremiah and them, when they call in and stuff, they just kind of sound like a lot of younger people that was brainwashed. Honestly, you know, they just pretty much reiterating and regurgitating everything that was taught to them, which tends to be a lot of false information. And it's to the point where, you know, we got to take a second look at these guys, because I feel like people are so quick to let these type of guys get to them and don't realize, like, hey, why am I letting this guy get to me? He doesn't really even know what he's talking about. He wasn't even born during those. He wasn't even thought about during those days. And I'm a young guy myself. I'm not a young guy. I'm 27 years old. But like, even, me, I accept the fact that, okay, I wasn't brought up during these particular times. So I don't, I look into these things just to know my history, but I won't take it so serious or take it so personal and like literally have debates with people about it, because how can I? I wasn't brought up during those days. So it's really hard for me to like try to have a debate with somebody about something when I wasn't even around. You know what I mean? Not even thought about.
Right.
And these guys take it so serious, and they take it so personal as if they were there.
Yeah.
and it's very interesting to me because, like William said, they really have no basis to argue with somebody about these subjects. They really have no ground to stand on. They don't have a dog in that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In fact, the people who were there are not would not be half as emotional about the situation that they themselves went through as these people are on behalf of them, Because when you're looking at somebody suffering, or you hear about somebody suffering, you feel differently about it from how they themselves feel about it. Oftentimes, they're not feeling about it the way that you think that you would be feeling about it. It's just a mama spirit.
But you know what else, too? A lot of the times it's like that because it's due to instigation. Like a lot of the people who taught them to pretty much, be hateful and stuff like that, they lied to them.
Right.
And they juiced up the story and juiced up, the history, you know what I mean, to make them feel like it's something that is not. So, they tend to, like the younger people tend to come off a little more aggressive than the people who were actually brought up during those days, because the people who was brought up during those days, they experienced something way different than the juiced up story that the youngest are being told. You know what I mean?
I know.
So it's a little bit of a instigation going on, you know what I mean? And also, let me just say this real quick. The whole Israelite thing.
Yeah.
The chosen people and all that stuff, right? Chosen people or chosen soul or spirit, you know what I mean? Like, let's go deeper than the flesh. I don't know why I got to keep saying this, but people like Jeremiah, these fleshheads, it's no chosen people. I can't get with that chosen people. I mean, you might as well say like God is racist if it's chosen people. You know what I'm saying?
He did have some chosen people, but I don't think it was the blacks.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And even then he expanded it to be like the people who are of the heart.
Exactly. See, now I could get with that because that's more of a deeper thing. That's within you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take a certain race or color to be that kind of person. You just gotta have it in you. You know what I mean? So I can understand that. But when we going about, we still want to keep getting on this subject of, the blacks are the chosen one, we're the chosen one. Like, let's get off of that stuff, man.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, let's really critically think about this honestly. Well, do you think God himself or Jesus himself, do you think that they, like, when you look them in the eyes that day when it comes to Judgment Day and stuff like that, and you have that conversation with them, do you think that they're going to be like, well, you know what, you're black, don't worry about it, let me go, don't worry about the sins and all the hate that you had, don't worry about that. You know what, you black, come on up in heaven, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, come on now, that's La La Land thinking, man. That's like, I mean, man, that's
True.
Crazy, man. That's crazy thinking. But anyways, I want to say this too. Happy birthday. This is a side note. Happy birthday to Angela in the chat, the YouTube chat. Happy birthday to her.
Nice. I thought you were going to say happy birthday to me, but thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you too, because you're a Cancer like me. So
nice.
Team Cancer. My birthday June 22nd. So yours is a little bit.
How do you know about the Cancer thing and the astrology signs?
I mean, to be honest, I only keep track of mine. Really, honestly, I only keep track of my sign and the month and the days. I only keep track of the days of my sign. I don't really keep track of everybody else's zodiac sign and stuff like that. But I know that the zodiac thing could be a little bit far fetched. It might not really be totally accurate. Who knows? But I will say this though, I got love for my Cancers.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. Happy birthday, Angela. That's cool.
Yeah, happy birthday. Take care, man.
All right, thank you. Take care.
All right.
Whew. A couple more super chats. Jer Animo asks with a super chat, did you ever try to deny your guilt feeling in the fallen state, and as a result compensated with virtue signaling, as we see people do it all over the place today, basically trying to convince people of your innocence? Interesting. I don't know if I've ever done that. I probably have a bit, but I think that's kind of human nature to be proud of. You see how people get drunk and then they just make it a competition how much you can drink and all that mess, or how much you can sleep around. Or the SJWs calling wrong right and right wrong, pretending that the LGBTIQ madness, pretending that they're good for supporting it, So evil. Very evil. And then they get all up on their high horses about slavery and racism and homophobia and transphobia and sexism. So phony. It's a phony world. And same thing with many of the Christians. Probably most of the Christians. Zodiac is complete and total witchcraft, says Mr. Sandman. Yeah, I think you want to stay away from that mess. But I just noticed that the more worldly our generations have gotten, the more we're exposed to that. I was never really exposed to it, but then my friends told me, after college, I guess, oh, you were born in mid-July, you're a Cancer. A cancer to society. Interesting. Oh, man. Okay. Let me look at this mess. Let me quickly give you one more quick story before I get to Jeremiah's coming up. The Tesla Fremont plant. They seem to be in the news all the time. Not always for good things, but Morning Brew reports on this stat. Tesla's plant in Fremont, California. Tesla is that electric car, you guys know, I assume. Run by Elon Musk or headed by Elon Musk, founded. Fremont, California, that's like NorCal or Central Cal. I want to say that's near San Jose, I think. Most productive auto factory in North America. Wow. Which is probably even, I think Mexico is technically part of North America, if I'm not mistaken. Mexico, Canada, and America, the United States. According to a Bloomberg analysis, Bloomberg, they're reliable, cranking out 8,550 cars a week. Elon's manufacturing facility beat out more than 70 others from legacy car makers such as Toyota, BMW, and Ford. I find that interesting a little bit because Tesla, that factory specifically, was under attack in the news from these females, I say these dumb, evil women were complaining and suing Tesla, specifically this factory, because the supervisors were just moving them to somewhere else because they complained about sexual stuff. I wonder what the demographics are of the factory workers. You know what I mean? Whether male, female, the split between them, age, and ethnicity, white, Hispanic, Asian, India Asian, black. I just wonder, Fremont, I think that's pretty Hispanic area. If I'm right, like San Jose, I mean they've been moving in there. It's near, what is it? Is it near Silicon Valley? I don't know my geography up there. I get lost. But they tried to Me Too that place. One guy shot up some coworkers outside of that Tesla plant recently. Was he a Hispanic guy? I forget. But he was like this disgruntled former employee or current coworker guy. Lots of stuff going on. I guess with a plant that big, over 8,000 a week. That is a huge plant. Uriel Giovanni says Tesla grew 2,000% in 5 years. Whew. And aren't they propped up by the government? This guy gets all these government deals and they act like, oh, he's the richest man in the world. And I mean, I guess he's wheeling and dealing, making great deals. He's no Donald Trump yet. He's South African. I wish he would speak up on the South Africa issue, the attack on South Africans. Seems like anybody who moves outside of South Africa who's white, oftentimes they stay mighty quiet, except for the great Buffalo Bartlett, who has been on my show a couple of times in recent year or so, a couple of years ago maybe, speaking out on the attack on whites and just the mess that South Africa is in. Getting rid of that apartheid stuff, replaced with something worse. Kind of reminds me of what's happening in America. We got rid of Jim Crow and it's replaced with worse, you know? And we're getting rid of the law and order and it's getting replaced with worse. So wrong. You guys still want to hear that clip again? Press 1 if you want to hear the clip. Press 2 if you don't want to see that clip again, with the guy cussing and throwing the drink at the sassy girl. And press 3 if you don't care. In the meantime, I'll get to Jeremiah in Louisiana. Jeremiah, thank you for holding. What's up?
This is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it.
You've been saying that every time you call into my show.
Yeah.
And you're using your... Why do you say that on my show with me?
I just like the songs.
You think I worship the same God as you?
I think you want to.
Aw, that's nice. Anyway, what did you want to talk about?
I'm trying to give you the game. So the Civil War back in the day, that wasn't over slavery, right? That was like because the government was trying to tell the South what to do.
Yeah, I mean, slavery was definitely an issue at the time, but it wasn't over slavery specifically. The South wanted to secede from the Union because they felt that the North and the feds were being onerous with their...
And tyrannical, right?
Yeah, tyrannical, yep. So they wanted to secede.
So what do you think, like I said, we don't have anything really to do with the Civil War. Of course, race does have a part to play in every war.
Who's we?
So we will. African Americans, like Mitch McConnell said.
Oh, don't use that term, man. Neither you nor I agree with that term.
I'm not. I don't agree with that term.
Yeah.
You're absolutely 100% correct.
Right.
But
what I call blacks.
That's what everybody knows blacks as, right? That's what you would call us. However,
so you had nothing to do with that war?
It's going to be a little bit to do with race, but we're not the only race. It's Hispanics. You could say white and black Hispanic, whatever.
Some blacks.
It's a diverse country.
Let me interrupt you.
Have to worry about?
Let me interrupt you because you said something that's not true. Blacks fought on both sides of that war. They were very much involved and affected in that war.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
But the biggest threat to that government
Today?
Is you eat whites, the Americans.
Yeah, we're rotting from within.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the Russians. It's not China. We're rotting from within. And we're letting enemies in.
But see, Russia actually sees that as a weakness. That's why they're doing. That's why they're making their moves. As well as China.
They see what as a weakness?
China's making their moves, and Russia's making their moves because they see America as a weakness right now.
I know.
You have January 6th that happened. That everybody's seen that. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody cared about J6. That's just politics.
I beg to differ about that one.
You cared about it?
I care about everything. Everything matters, Hank.
Oh, Lord.
All the news that comes up from both sides. I watch Fox as well as CNN. I watch all of it.
Maybe you shouldn't watch so much.
You know that? I like to be behind enemy lines, Hank.
Maybe you shouldn't watch so much, man.
I love it. I love politics.
Maybe you love it too much.
I love to see empires and how kingdoms work. I love history. You know, I read an interesting fact.
Why don't you get to know yourself?
It said empires usually last about 250 years. That's the average lifespan of a kingdom or empire.
Whatever.
You know that?
Why don't you get to know yourself, though?
I know myself.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you know yourself? Do you know you? Do you know who you are?
Working on it.
Yeah. You're 40, man. You're supposed to know a little bit.
I know, but you're 30-something. You're a family man, a father, and you think you're a black Hebrew Israelite.
Not black, buddy. There's no colors, man.
Oh yeah, you don't think you're black.
Sometimes I wonder. You might be an Israelite, Hank. You don't even know it. You know that?
Maybe. But I don't care because what Lord Grimm said is true. It's what's within is
smooth words.
It's what's within that matters. Smooth words.
Wants to hear smooth words. That's why he said he can get with what you're saying because it's smooth words.
Okay. Well, thank you. I will take that as a compliment.
Of Christianity, yeah.
Hake with the smooth words.
Yeah, smooth words.
All right.
That's how y'all were able to make over 400 treaties with the native people of this land and break every single one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah.
That's
all
how
right.
you see them, too. Yeah.
That's why we came up with Indian giver because we didn't understand their culture. Anyway, man, I appreciate it, Jeremiah.
Yeah, sure.
Have a good one. Take care.
Thanks.
All right. Whew. I get this like evil, creepy sense from him. I'll have to ask him about that if he calls in again sometime. You guys want to see it? What did you guys say? Saw some threes. Don't care. Should we play it again? Just play it. Let's watch this clip one more time, guys. This is the bass guy doing something unbased, which is losing his cool. Watch and learn what not to do. And don't be like these girls either. They're a mess. Enjoy.
I have no room to yell at us.
I want to speak to the person who made this drink. Is that you?
No, it wasn't me.
We don't know who made it, so.
You don't know who made it?
There's 4 of us here, so we obviously don't know.
Stupid
4
ignorant high school kids.
Okay, bye.
I want to speak to the
Bye. Okay, you can call corporate whenever you want. Goodbye.
Gianna, stop. You're on camera. You're on camera. You're on camera.
Yeah, the girl knows that she's out of control.
Give it to me right now.
What? Really? Oh, you're fine.
I'm calling the police. I'm calling the police.
I want the telephone.
Get the out.
Gianna,
I want the
stop.
telephone.
Don't cuss, lady.
You shut up. Get out. You can call corporate whenever you want. Bye. Okay, good for you. Bye.
I want the
Bye. Bye.
How annoying, huh?
You shut up. You're not gonna tell me to shut up. Who are you? Who are you?
Customer. He's a customer.
What?
You.
Get the out. Get the out. Get the out.
Now she's screaming.
You're going to jail, you racist piece of
I want the fucking telephone.
Bro, call
Oops.
us.
Sorry, I forgot to bleep that one. I didn't catch it. My bad. My mistake, kids and parents. Hope you enjoyed that. Mess going on in the world. Americans love this mess. Yeah, it's just people fighting. Stressed. Italian versus a Mexican, or whatever this girl was. Hispanic type of thing. instigating a situation, and you spread it, you're evil. The people who are, I mean, I'm spreading it too, but to me, I'm not trying to get anybody fired. Even the girl who was cussing and acting all erratic. Although I would question the wisdom of my decision in hiring her in the first place, right? If I had been her employer. Quick little chats. Informative chat. Ragnar0321 says, Neil Young previously demanded that Donald Trump stop playing his hit Rockin' in the Free World at his rallies, only to subsequently admit he had no legal power to do so. So Trump switched to YMCA when Hold On, I'm Coming he plays at the end of his rallies, according to Commander Kim. Interesting stuff. Okay. I got to get to Luka in Indiana. Luka, how you doing?
Doing good.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to mention that Neil Young thing. I remember a couple of years ago, my dad was all bragging, because my dad hates Trump. He's got the TDS pretty bad.
Yeah.
He was all, me and him are in a band together, and we cover a few Neil Young songs. And he was all bragging, oh, did you see Trump is all mad at Neil Young, or Neil Young's all mad at Trump for using his song. And I was like, you know, it's just like so many other celebrities and whatever, quote-unquote musicians just jumping on that evil bandwagon, anti-Trumpness.
Yep. Who don't think for themselves. So much for being your own man.
Yeah, so it's easy for someone like me to just be like, well, I don't need to support him anymore. I don't need to buy his music if he's going to be on the side of evil.
So did you refuse to play his songs anymore?
No. No.
You continue to play them. They're still good songs. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there was a lot of truth in that Rockin' in the Free World, you know.
Oh, okay.
And maybe he wrote it back before he was all sold out.
Maybe. Yeah. That's right. People tend to get worse as they get older. I notice lately, which is not a positive thing. Yeah.
It's like you either want to sign on the dotted line and have all that fame and all that money, or you be a good person and speak the truth, and they will totally drop you.
Yeah. I remember Emmanuel doing that anti-Trump so-called cipher. And he just sounded like a clown, just repeating the mainstream media that he supposedly hated, and he became them.
Exactly.
What a loser.
Exactly. I was always listening to Eminem, and then I saw that video where he's like, I'm going to draw a line in the sand. And I'm like, dude, like, sold out much?
Yeah.
I mean, Snoop Dogg and all of them, you know, all they see is them on commercials selling crap nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you're so gangster.
Silly.
I was going to ask, how did you meet Jesse Lee Peterson?
So by word of mouth, I heard about his church. I was traveling around. I will go into other churches with friends from college. And somebody said, hey, you're from L.A. You should check out Jesse Lee Peterson. Brotherhood of a New Destiny. He forgot Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. So I searched it and found it. It was like 2007. Once I got home, and I came right to church. Somebody else was leading the service, one of the men. And then the following service, he was out traveling, right? Following service, he was there, and that's how I met him. Started coming to church.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't into politics, so I didn't hear about him on my like brother had seen him on Fox News and others, and I think my dad said, "Oh yeah, he's known as the other Jesse as opposed to Jesse Jackson." But I hadn't heard of him. I just appreciated the real Christianity where you are wrong. You can be perfect. You don't have to keep sinning. So I liked this no excuse responsibility Christianity as opposed to the fake stuff. So I've been coming to church pretty much ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that about Jesse, too. It's like I never considered myself Christian or religious. I was raised Catholic, so I got away from it as I got older. But listening to Jesse, he talks that truth. He doesn't talk like a lot of these fake Christian pastor types talk.
Right. Yeah, I imagine that's how Jesus talked, because people were astonished at Jesus's preaching, because he spoke as one with authority, not as the scribes and the intellectuals, the Pharisees and Sadducees and all those lame people, the establishment church of the day, you know? Mm-hmm. Although they were from the Jewish religion, but it was the same idea. It's supposed to be the same God carrying over into the Messiah, the Christ. So
yeah, it's the same with Trump. It's like so many people are brainwashed that if you talk a certain way, like if you talk really formal, like Obama did, then, oh, you're a good person and you're intelligent, but that's not true at all.
Yeah.
Like when you talk plain and you talk like a real human being and you can tell you've worked hard and you've actually lived with the common man, that's, you know, what real people are thirsty for these days. That's why Trump does so well. That's why JLP and you and all these guys are doing so well.
Trump brought a great lesson. I remember I've told this story before. He went to Liberty University and spoke. And he said, 2 Corinthians, such and such, such and such. 2 Corinthians, right? And all the arrogant, snobby, fake Christian intellectuals, mostly liberals, but some so-called conservatives, jumped all over him. A real Christian would know it's 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. But he brought a great message about where there's the Spirit, there is unity, and there is liberty. And we need unity, and we need liberty, Liberty University. And he talked about how Christians should be united, but they're not. They're a bunch of cowards and infighting fakes. And that's been complained about all throughout the New Testament. Paul and Peter, I think, were criticizing the churches for backbiting and gossiping and accusing and just being infighting. I follow this one. I follow that one. I follow Christ. And it's all pathetic. That's why the church, not all of the people at the churches are saved, quote unquote, or born again. There are snakes. Many of them, maybe most of them. So,
and you can see where a lot of these liberals get turned off by Christianity when there's all that mess going on.
Yeah.
But it seems like every institution, whether it's the New Age community or the religious community, they've all been hijacked and infiltrated by evil.
Yeah.
So it's like you really got to have discernment and be able to go into your heart and say, well, is this good or is this evil? How does this feel, inside?
Interesting.
Or else you'll be swayed.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about Tesla earlier. Did you know he never married and he wasn't into women because he said they'll just sidetrack you and all that mess, and he wouldn't have invented and accomplished all the things he did.
Are you talking about Nikola Tesla as opposed to you're not talking about Elon Musk, are you? You're talking about Nikola Tesla?
I'm talking about the Serbian who grew up in Croatia. Yeah, Tesla. Nikola.
I did not know that about him. I know that Elon Musk has, I heard that he has some children out of wedlock. But Nikola Tesla, huh? Well, I mean, some people are that way. That's fine. I don't hold that against him, and he's right in a lot of ways. One guy said in the chat, I remember last week, Hake is one woman away from total destruction. And aren't we all? What a mess, huh? You gotta cling to what's right.
Yep.
Whatever the case with the women situation.
Like you were saying earlier, you got to know yourself before you try getting in a relationship, or those women will try to tell you who you are.
Yeah. Or they'll try to tell you who a man, what it means to be a man. They don't know. They know what it's not, but they also hate the men for being men. They hate Trump. Yeah. They hate JLP.
They want to control the men by playing mama.
Yep. Interesting, man. I appreciate the call. Yeah. Nice talking with you, Luka.
Yeah, good talking to you. Have a good one.
You too.
Later.
Bye. Didn't Tesla marry it? Whoa, I don't know. I don't want to repeat that. Isn't that funny, though? Speaking of all this big talk, before I get back to calls, Mike, I'm coming to you next. I appreciate it, man. Hang tight. Did you hear about that Biden, Sleepy Joe? He got mad at Peter Doocey. You guys familiar with Peter Doocey? He's the star young man at Fox News, or is it Faux News? Here's a quote. Morning Brew. I don't have the clip of it, but you've probably seen the clip if you keep up with the news heartily. But I'll try to impersonate it, but I'll have to bleep it. Quote from Morning Brew. What a stupid son of a beep. And that was Sleepy Joe talking. Sleazy Joe tore into Fox News White House correspondent Peter Doocey. That's the son of Steve Doocey, who was the guy, I think he still is, that morning talk show on Fox News. Steve Doocey, he's all into Trump. He's a nice guy. Alongside, I'm blanking on those guys. But anyway, Peter Doocey, he's been asking questions, confronting that red-haired, phony woman, Jen Psaki, the Obama holdover. And he was also questioning Sleazy Joe. Doocey asked Biden whether inflation would be a political liability for the midterms, 2022, which apparently the president did not appreciate. To me, it's... is that a good question? I suppose so. It's kind of puts him in a corner, I suppose, but it's kind of a unenlightening question other than just see how he reacts. Biden later called, which apparently the president did not appreciate it, so-called president. He said, what a stupid son of a beep. Which I'm fine with Biden saying that. That's how Biden talks. That's one of the ways that I actually kind of find him somewhat likable. I don't like him when he's all an unrelenting stream of non-white stock immigration. Unrelenting stream. People of my European stock, we're going to be an absolute minority. That's not a bad thing. It's a source of our strength. What a phony person. And he's saying, white supremacist terrorism is the worst thing and most lethal threat in to the homeland. Whose homeland? Asks smart people. Biden later called Doocey to clear the air. He's all, it's not personal, pal. Pretty funny, huh? Pretty funny. Reminds me of the guy calling that woman a stupid, what did he call her? Effing immigrant loser. Effing stupid, effing ignorant high school kids. I feel bad even saying effing. Apologies, kids and parents, adults, guardians. But Biden said it. Anyway, Mike in Michigan, thanks for holding. How are you?
Oh, my God. What's going on, man?
Hanging out, chilling.
Take you off speaker right quick.
I appreciate it.
Hello? Yeah, okay, I got a couple points. I forgot what I was going to say, but Trump, you said Elon Musk is no Trump, right?
I did say that, although he has room to grow. Who knows?
Net worth is no comparison. Elon Musk is worth $244 billion.
He's still a simp.
But look, Trump is worth 2.5. No comparison.
I don't care. Trump is a man. Elon is not a man.
No comparison.
Who cares? No comparison. Trump is a man. Elon is not a man.
You did. How do you? I'm not even finna go into that. And another point.
I know because it's a losing battle because you know I'm right. I'm right.
Okay, wait.
You just want the African man to win.
Wait, man. Wait.
Go ahead.
Wait.
You calm down.
Slow down. Okay. The caller that was 27 years old, the young guy,
Lord Grimm.
Yeah, I guess that's him. The only
call him by his name, Lord Grimm, to you. Go ahead.
He is 27 years old. The only history that has happened since he's been born, notable, is 9/11. He don't know nothing about nothing else. So he needs to be quiet.
You don't.
Okay.
This is America. He doesn't have to be quiet for anything. How old are you?
Okay. I'm almost 40. I'll be 39 next month.
See, you're younger than me. You need to be quiet.
Okay. And there was another one.
All right.
You say with the civil rights, you said it was African, black people fighting on both sides, right?
Civil war. The war of northern aggression, not civil rights.
Right.
The war of northern aggression when the North didn't want the South to secede.
But you said that it was blacks fighting on both sides, right?
Yep.
Do you know why, though?
Because blacks loved their slave masters and they loved the South.
No, you're lying.
No, I'm not.
Blacks fought in that because they was promised freedom.
You're not even 39 years old. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, maybe in some cases. Hold on, man. Will you shut up?
That's why.
Mike.
That's why.
Mike. I'm going to put you on hold. Okay, maybe some of them. I put them on hold. Sorry, kids. I shouldn't say shut up. Somebody said, don't say shut up. You're just stooping to their level. But maybe some of them were told that. I don't know if the South told them that. Maybe the South did. But many of them, it's a fact, loved their masters and loved the South. So that's why they would fight on the side of the South. Okay, Mike.
So you're going to sit here and just lie to your viewers?
It's not a lie. You're the one lying. You're not even 39 years old. You're criticizing Lord Grimm, and you're not even 12 years older than him.
I've experienced some things in life that has been going on.
You have not experienced the war of northern aggression.
This is the junior. What's their generation called? That young generation.
I don't care.
Generation Z.
No, he's not Gen Z. He's a millennial.
Millennial. That's what they call them.
Gen Y.
They don't know. They don't know nothing. That whole generation is a wash on both sides.
That's what they say to you too.
And black.
You're a millennial too. Did you know that you're a millennial?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're the same generation as him. I'm 40 and I'm a millennial, and you're 39 and you're a millennial.
You are.
You are too. Right? You're ignorant. You're so ignorant. Right?
You are too. Why you calling name? I haven't called you anything.
It's not a bad name to be ignorant.
Ignorance is lack of knowledge, and I got a lot of knowledge.
You also have a lack of knowledge.
That's the definition of ignorance, is a lack of knowledge, and I know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't. You said that you said it's a lie to say the slaves loved their masters. You don't know them.
No, I'm not saying that.
And that's why they fought.
The reason why they fought in that war was to be free.
Who told them?
They was promised freedom.
Who promised that?
By the slave masters.
Who promised that?
They were told that by the people in the South.
Who promised that?
I don't know who. You said what?
Who promised them their freedom?
The South. The South promised those slaves freedom.
Okay.
If they won, if the South won this war, they will be free. If you fought in this war, you would be free. That's what they was promised.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
So
you tend not to be one who loves the truth.
Okay,
though.
Do you know what God told Moses about the Israelites?
I do know some of the things that God told them, but what specifically?
What did he tell them? God told Moses to take vengeance upon those who, what's the name of those people?
Don't tell me you're an Israelite. Are you a black Hebrew Israelite?
No. I'm just fixing facts. That you lied about your whole show. I had to listen to your whole show. So I'm just fixing facts.
All right.
God had vengeance in his heart. That's why he destroyed the earth with the flood with Noah, because he had vengeance. He destroyed 2 cities because of the homophobic things that was going on in those cities. So God had vengeance.
Oh my gosh. And you're not ignorant. And you're not ignorant.
No, you're ignorant. Because you don't know nothing about nothing. You just get on here and talk.
I know, but you just said that he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because they're homophobic.
All the homophobic acts that was going on, I try to keep you, so you won't hang up on me like you did yesterday.
Yeah.
I try to keep it, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, because of the things that was going on in those 2 cities, God destroyed them.
Okay, so are you saying that it's right for man to have vengeance in his heart just because God does?
Why not? I'm not him. If the Almighty has it, why can't I?
Because he says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord.
If he has it, why can't I?
I just explained to you. He said, vengeance is mine. Don't take revenge.
Right.
And he says to get rid of all anger.
But he didn't.
He doesn't have to. He's God. It's his job to be angry.
That's what a beta male would say.
You don't know what you're talking about.
That's what a beta male
Talk about
would say.
ignorant.
You're ignorant. You are.
I'm fine with being ignorant, But you're just repeating.
Very ignorant. I'm not. I'm very educated. I know things.
Okay, you know such beautiful things. Very wonderful.
Like you got to get a job on your. You got to get a job on your computer.
Yeah, get a job.
What job do you have?
Teespring.com/stores/get a job.
I'm saying, so what job do you have?
I host this show. And
that's not a job. That's a podcast.
It's a job. That's not
a show. That's a podcast that come on after Jesse Lee Peterson when nobody's really watching.
I'm essential. I'm an essential worker. 352 nobodies, and then some. Plus 20.
I can go do the same thing that you're doing right now.
And that would be a job if you were paid for it?
No, that's not a job.
If you're paid for it, it's part of the job.
That's not a job that a man supposed to have.
You don't know what a man is?
And on top of that,
you don't know what a man is?
That guy that threw that stuff.
And I didn't finish what my jobs are, but fine. That's fine.
That guy that threw that stuff, that girl, that's not a man.
I know.
He wouldn't have did that if there was a man his size talking crazy to him like that.
A man his size wouldn't talk crazy to him like that.
That is a coward. Yes, it is. It's people out here.
You said that a man his size would talk crazy to him? That was not a man would not talk crazy.
Yes, he would.
A man would not talk. You're ignorant.
The same way. You're ignorant.
All right.
The same way that was a coward move.
Okay.
I wish that was my sister.
Lord.
Because that man would have words.
Oh my gosh! Don't be becoming one of these white knights.
I'm not a white knight. That was a coward move. What he did.
I don't think it was cowardly. He was just mad.
That was coward. He was mad and threw a drink on a high school teenager.
Are you a coward for criticizing him behind his back on a radio show when he can't do anything to you?
The type of guy that he is.
Are you a coward, Mike?
No.
Are you a coward for talking behind his back? He can't even do anything.
Listen,
are you a coward?
Are you a coward? I'm 6'4", 265 pounds.
Are you a coward?
Yes, I would tell that man in his face that
he's a coward.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're talking behind his back.
I'm 6'4", 265 pounds.
That doesn't matter. You can still be a coward, still be big.
I would tell that dude, look, man.
You talk big. You talk big.
I would tell him he's
but
a
you're
coward.
Being, this is so useless.
That's a coward to throw a drink at a teenager.
Fine. That's fine.
That's a coward.
All right, point taken. Thanks, man.
The type of guy
I appreciate the call, Mike. I got to go.
He wouldn't do that to a man, but go ahead.
A man wouldn't yell at him like that. But thanks, man. Nice. What a mess. Isn't this nice? A big coward. Hey, hang up. Jason in Long Island, New York. Jason, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
Hey, James. How you doing?
Doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Right on.
I wanted to thank you because, how you're dealing with all these people, You're in the front line,
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and maybe you should do Hake plays for the kids, Maybe you should play Pokemon because you're white. I don't know.
I don't like Pokemon. Pokemon's not a white game, but I appreciate the suggestion. I shall consider my options.
All right, then.
Thanks, man. It's good to hear from you.
Thank you.
All right. Another quick call. Alex in Sweden. What's up, man?
Hey, Hake.
Hey.
Hey, real fast, I wanted to talk to you some about other things, but all these callers, I think they seem to have this beep filter installed in their delusional minds because when you start speaking common sense, all they hear is beep, 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 beep in their minds, and like a Morse code, it translates to, gibberish.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
true. Yeah, they can't hear. It's a backwards world out there. There is a false version of morality that is being pushed out in the world, and the world is swallowing it up. What a shame, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I wanted just to say that a while ago I was in the retail and there was this woman. She was angry or something, and she came to me and just she said the N-word in Swedish to me. And
are you black?
Yeah, but I didn't. No, I'm not black, but I'm not Swedish, or I'm born in Sweden, but I'm a migrant.
Oh, okay.
But she said a really bad word, but I didn't care. I didn't mind it at all, but she freaked out. And she freaked out, and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you're just being stupid, but it's fine. Who cares? And she just, rushed out. And then I found out that she apparently worked at this daycare center for children, and they wanted to fire her.
Wow.
So I actually went to that daycare center and spoke to the boss and said, I'm the one that she apparently said that, and I'm perfectly fine. Just let it go.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Nice, man. Right on.
I mean, so I don't understand why these people are making it such a big.
Yeah,
and that last caller that said, "Oh, you shouldn't throw a drink at a teenager." you know what teenager can do or does to other people.
I know.
Mean, not all, but
they're evil. They've already turned evil. But I mean, I agree. You shouldn't throw a drink at a girl. Obviously, you shouldn't throw a drink at anybody.
Yeah, me too.
But have some grace on the guy. Yeah, he was wrong. He acted out. He had no business acting out. But his son.
Why fire him? I don't get. Why fire him? I don't just get it. It's just stupid.
It's a vengeance.
And just real fast.
Vengeance mindset. Go ahead.
You were talking about Pantera. Check the song "Cemetery Gates" with Pantera.
Pantera. Cemetery Gates. Appreciate the tip, man. It's good to hear from you, Alex. I got to run.
Yeah, thanks, Yates. Have a good one. Bye.
All right, you as well. Guys, I got to end. This has been the Hake Report. Willie Powell with the super chat on Streamlabs says, Hake, you are on fire. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. TheHakeReport.com. Appreciate it, guys. JesseLeePeterson.com. RebuildingTheMan.com/church. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona wanted to talk about the Civil War. I cannot get to you, man. Justin in Fullerton wanted to talk about the vaccine mandates, Fullerton, California. And the rest of the callers, hope to catch you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.